Hi everyone, Tom Wolf here. I've had a few of you requesting that I do deconstruction videos where I take apart my patches and show you exactly how I created them. And I thought while under lockdown, this is a good opportunity to start creating those videos. So in this one, I'm going to be showing you one of the patches from my new set, Atomus. Now this patch is called Charging On. It's from the ARP and BPM section of the set, and this is how it sounds. And mod wheel. Okay, so it's quite a dramatic, quite an impactful, gritty, cinematic percussive sequence. Got this big impactful hit at the start, and then we've got some kind of gritty staccato rhythmic elements that kind of carry the rest of the sequence. We've also got a bit of kind of crunchy delay that comes in on the mod wheel. So let's go over how I created that. So over here, I've already deconstructed it. Now here on layer A, we're using a sample called Tunnel String Hit, which is part of the Omnisphere factory sounds. So that sounds like this. So that's the sound that's giving it the kind of toppy character, okay? Let's switch on the arpeggiator where we've got our rhythm. So you can see we've got this big long hit here, and then we've got these quicker rhythmic hits here, which we've also got the velocity mapped in for those. Now, obviously, we haven't got that big impactful hit yet, which is coming from layer B, and that's a sample called Cavern Tube 1. So let's switch that on, and we've also got the amplitude being controlled in our modulation section, which is just here, okay? Let's mute that one for just a second. So on mod envelope 4, we're controlling our amplitude for layer B. Let's just hit that now. So we've got that big dramatic hit at the start, and then we've got a bit of a fade, which kind of brings it out before our quicker hits start. Okay. So it's still not quite gritty. It's not got the same impact that the final patch does have. So a lot of that is in the effects. So let's start with the flame distortion. So the flame distortion makes it a lot grittier. So that's got a lot more character, especially on the quicker hits, but on the initial dramatic hit, it's a bit kind of unruly. So I controlled that using LFO1. Now LFO1, we've got it set to a square wave here. It's synced, it's unipolar. I've got it inverted so that it is turning down the mix when that initial dramatic hit starts, and it is tempo synced to 2 bars as well because our loop is 2 bars here. So let's just hit that. So that first note is a lot kind of less unruly, but now because we've applied so much gain in the flame distortion, when we're reducing the mix amount, that's actually turning down that initial hit and it's losing its impact. So to counteract that, I use the imager. Now that wasn't to create any kind of, effect on the stereo image of the track. It was literally just to use the gain. Okay, so let's switch that on and let's have a look at the gain mod. So that's also being modulated by LFO1. We can unmute that and you can see that this isn't inverted. So whenever the flame distortion mix is being turned down, the drop in volume is being counteracted by the imager. So the gain on the imager is being turned up. So let's have a quick listen to that. And without. So it's brought that initial hit out again. We've also got the gate here, which that's not doing an awful lot, but it's just helping to kind of keep those shorter rhythmic bits, quite staccato. We don't want those to have much kind of bleed on them. So our initial hit still isn't all that dramatic. So what I did, I put on the precision comp, which is great for just kind of smashing the crap out of stuff and making it sound really dramatic. So here we go. So that's already got a lot more impact on that initial hit. Okay, so we're almost there. If we listen to our original sound again, we're pretty close. But those kind of, it's not got the same impact, and the quicker sounds aren't quite as glitchy. They're not quite as, characterful. So let's go over to our common effects bit. So here we've got another precision comp. It works great as a kind of glue just to hold the sounds together, and that's what's given the patch a lot of its meatiness. So that's got a lot more impact. It's a lot more kind of together, and it just sounds better with that on. So I like to put that on a lot. So then the reason the quicker sounds sound a bit more glitchy and a little bit more staccato is because what I did, I modulated the sample start. So that uses mod envelope 1. Let's unmute that and let's have a quick look at mod envelope 1. So this is almost like a square wave, but you'll see it ends a little bit early. That's because sometimes using the LFO for stuff like this, it's quite tricky to get it smooth. Sometimes you get sounds that cut off and you get kind of nasty artifacts that you don't really want. So instead I use the envelope, which is synced and looped, and it just kind of cuts that off slightly early. So this is actually making the sample start a bit later and cutting off the initial attack for those shorter staccato rhythmic hits. So you can hear it's a lot more kind of staccato and glitchy on those rhythmical hits. And then what we've got as well, so you can see mod envelope 2 is controlling the layer aux send, and mod envelope 3 is controlling the common aux return. So over on our effects, so this is our aux. So we've got proverb on it, quite a long reverb time, mix all the way to 100, and our return is being controlled by envelope 3. So let's just unmute that and show you envelope 3. So envelope 3, you can see for the first 4 beats of our sequence, we're going to have reverb, okay? And then it tails off. We don't want it to cut off suddenly because that would sound very unnatural, but we only want it for that initial kind of boom, just to give it that extra boominess and a bit more room on that hit to give it a bit more impact. So we faded that off, and then we've also got the aux send, which was modulated as well. So let's switch that on. So that is being modulated with envelope 2, and let's just have a quick look at envelope 2. So that is cutting off a lot quicker. So we're making sure that we've just got the very start of that sound being sent into the auxiliary, and then the reverb is lasting a little bit longer before being taken out. So let's have a little listen to that. So that just adds to that kind of boominess for the first hit a little bit. So that's our patch. All we've got left to do is the mod wheel. So on the mod wheel, what we've got is the radio delay. I absolutely love this effect. It's just like quite a nice kind of crunchy lo-fi delay that brings a lot of character into the patches. And it means, having it on the mod wheel, you can have this drier sequence, but then you can kind of bring in this sort of, quite characterful delay, and you can bring it in, you can fade it out, you can bring it in. just makes it a bit more playable and a bit more kind of dynamic, and bringing a bit of change to the track. So we've switched that on, and let's just make sure that we have our modulation switched on as well. So we've routed the wheel to the radio delay mix, and that's how this sounds. So there's that kind of crunchy delay. So that was the patch charging on from Atomus. Hopefully you found that video useful. I'm going to do some more for various different types of sounds, and perhaps some from other sets as well. And I'll, every time I do a new release, I'll try and do this with at least a few of the patches from it. Please let me know what you thought in the comments. If you would like to try out the patch yourself, or if you'd like to try out the set Atomus, you can find a link to the product page in the description. Also, don't forget to hit subscribe before you go, as I will be releasing some more of these videos and also doing some sound design tips as well. So until next time, take care.